about it, Mr. Orson?
How do you like it, boys?
Well, 70 years in a man's life.
That's a lot to try to get into a newsreel.
It's a good shot, Thompson, but what it needs is an angle.
Yeah.
All we saw on that screen was that Charles Foster Kane is dead. I know that. I read the papers. You see, Thompson, it isn't enough to tell us what a man did. You've got to tell us who he was.
Needs that angle.
Certainly. Wait a minute. What were Kane's last words? Do you remember, boys?
Yes, swear.
What were the last words he said on Earth? Maybe he told us all about himself on his deathbed.
Yeah, and maybe he didn't. Maybe it was just
All we saw on that screen was a big American.
one of the biggest.
But how is he any different from Ford, or Hearst for that matter, or John Doe?
He did love Hitler. Sure.
I tell you, Thompson, a man's dying words.
What were they? You don't read the papers.
When Charles Foster Kane died, he said just one phrase. You're tall, but I'm standing in front of you.
Tough guy.
But who is she? What was this?
Here's a man who might have been president. He's been loved and hated and talked about as much as any man in our time. But when he comes to die, he's got something on his mind called You're tall, but I'm standing in front of you. What does it mean?
A racehorse he bet on once.
Yeah, that didn't come in.
All right.
But what was the race? Thompson.
Yes, Mr.
Hold this thing up with me. 2 weeks if you have to.
You think right after he's dead, it might
No, that's communist talk. I want you to get in touch with everyone who ever knew him, or at least knew him well. That manager of his, what was it?
Bernstein.
Yes.
His second wife.
Okay.
She's still living.
Susan Alexander Kane.
Running a nightclub in Atlantic City.
Yeah, that's
See them all.
That's the ticket. See them all. Anyone who ever loved him, who worked for him. Anyone who ever,
Hated his guts.
Now, I don't mean go through the city directory, of course.
I'll get on it right away, Mr. Orson.
Good. You're tall, but I'm standing in front of you. Dead or alive. But preferably dead.
You're tall, but I'm standing in front of you.
It's a podcast.
Welcome to You're Tall, but I'm Standing in Front of You, the podcast
That's what it is.
about cultural detritus from the 20th century and examining it, and academia and how it's rotting my mind to where I can't even remember the basic intro to the pod. I'm Devin.
I'm Ethan.
How's it going, buddy?
It's going great. Spring is in the air.
Yeah.
There was a blizzard. I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, no, I think I experienced 5 different seasons on my bike ride home yesterday. There was like hail.
Yeah.
It then was like very hot. I was sweating. Incredibly cold, all at the same time.
One thing I've noticed is, because I've lived in a few different locales over the years, is no matter where you live, everybody in that area is like, the weather's so crazy here. And they think that like it's just them. Like, nowhere else has weather like Indianapolis.
No. There's nobody just like hanging around just being like, man, the weather here is just so normal, right? Except maybe, I don't know, maybe that's what happens in California. I have never been to California and I'm not convinced it's a real place. I think it is a false flag operation of some kind. Like, those planes are just going to some kind of like large indoor airspace, airbase. And those are all paid actors.
I've been to California, but I've come to a similar conclusion as you. So, good call there.
I think it's mostly to sell Thomas Pynchon novels. Like, they have like maintained, it's basically a giant amusement park for people that like are big fans of The Crying of Lot 49, right? Like, and it just keeps those, because, it's like the big Pynchon lobby trying to keep those units moving, But anyway, it's a new era here at You're Tall. We've been, doing some self-analysis, and we really think this whole cultural detritus thing really like only has so far to go. We're kind of retreading the same ground over and over. And so, you know, we're now just like, we want to do a pod that just takes on the great classics of cinema, you know?
Yeah.
And so we figured we would start at the top with Citizen Kane, which most of you know as that movie with the guy who's clapping.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, you know, this is considered one of the great films of the 20th century, right?
That's what I hear.
And we were really excited to see it for the first time because, you know, we mostly watch RoboCop and RoboCop adjacent properties when we're not doing the pod. So, you know, we pulled up like the sight and sound list, and we're going to start going through. So we've got Citizen Kane this week, and then I think we're going to start the entire filmography of Akira Kurosawa in reverse chronological order.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we'll probably do, I don't know, The Searchers or something.
Yeah. A 5-parter on Gone with the Wind. A glowing review of that classic upcoming.
Yeah. And then that one about the KKK. You know, all the classics of American cinema.
Yeah. We're sick of talking about the death of a nation. We want to talk about the birth of a nation. So yeah, that's
a nice phrase. I've never heard that before. So anyway, you know, let's get into it. You know, we're not joking around here. This is a serious, like, this is a podcast of film criticism now. We've always maintained it's not actually a movie podcast. It's a podcast about one friend who is taller than the other.
Yeah.
But, you know, we have decided to take on film and cinema and movies and talkies with the full brunt of our analytical skill set. And we're not shying away from it anymore. We think this is like, you know, we are equipped to study these works of great American filmmaking.
Yeah, uniquely equipped, you and I.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Citizen Kane, it's 1941.
What's going on? What's going on in that year?
I'm not sure. I feel like we were supposed to. It was supposed to live in a certain kind of way in our memories. But directed by, I believe this is pronounced Orson Welles. You know, I believe he is mostly known for his culpability in multiple suicides after the War of the Worlds broadcast. And I believe was just living in shame ever since. Also the voice of Megatron.
Yes,
right?
True. Yeah. That was the pinnacle of his career.
Yeah. And then
went out with a bang.
But
I mean, that and selling California champagne.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Great advertisement work as well. Huge influence on us here.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like just to, you know, to get into the plot of this movie, you know, he's Orson Welles is also starring in this film, playing Charles Foster Kane, who evidently has completed his military service in the Starship Troopers fashion because he is a citizen.
Yes.
And he dies. Spoiler
right
alert.
Off the bat. Even hardly a spoiler because it's right at the beginning. That's a ballsy move.
Yeah, and he drops this snow globe and says Rosebud, which, you know, who knows what that's about. But then, you know, we kind of get this like newsreel about his life. It's kind of like a film within a film, if you would. I know that's a crazy idea, but it's like, because you don't actually see, it's not like you are seeing someone watch a television. Like your screen is showing the newsreel, but it's actually like it's not a real newsreel. It's a fictional newsreel within the universe of Citizen Kane, like the shared Kane universe.
Yeah, no, you have to hand it to Orson Welles because you go from this newsreel where it is talking about like news of the world, and then it like cuts from that to the people who have just been watching it, who are like, that's not good enough, you know, like that's just telling about his life, but what's he about? What's his deal? You know?
Yeah. No,
Good
it's like
cut.
it's like and then like the movie Citizen Kane itself is supposed to be that better movie that they're talking about how they need to make.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. But so we find out some stuff about Citizen Kane through this newsreel, or should I say news fake. He's go ahead.
Oh, no, I mean there's a number of things that come out. First off, I didn't realize that Obama stole his, you know, there's not a red America and a blue America, only the United States. This Citizen Kane fucking stole that. He's like, I'm not a communist or a fascist. I am an American because, you know, Americans can't be one of those other things.
Yeah. And it's like, and something else you learn in the newsreel is that this is that weird period in history where everyone talked funny, kind of like they're trying to sell you like some kind of like tinctures or something door to door, or announcing like an old boxing match. So it's like it's an imaginary universe where everyone was like that. Yeah,
in these days before everything was digital, you know, kids these days looking at their iPhones, film was like a physical thing and it was expensive, and so everyone had to talk very fast to like say what they had to say before they ran out of film reel. And that's why everything is just, you know, news of the world. Everybody, look at us go.
Yeah.
Kane went to Germany and met with Hitler. What do you say, Kane?
Anyways,
yeah.
And so he's like, we find out he's like some kind of like, he's a man of industry and in the media, right? He's like, it's like a newspaper man.
Oh, like Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. He's kind of like the Jeff Bezos of newspapers. Like if you wanted to get a newspaper, you had to go through this guy. And his death was apparently a really big deal. Like everyone would have been tweeting about this. You know, like tweets like Citizen Kane, more like Citizen Dead.
Hey.
And there's this guy Thompson, Jerry Thompson, right? He's one of the reporters. And they're basically like, listen, Jerry, your film sucks. It's really simplistic. You need to go out there, get your boots on the ground and like talk to some people and figure out what was this guy's deal. And now this is crazy because I know what you're thinking. The movie's called Citizen Kane. He's dead already. Orson Welles cast himself as Citizen Kane. He's barely in the movie. But here's the thing. They're going to do flashbacks. And that's like the magic of movies, you know, because it's like he's dead, but we still get to see him, you know, walking around and talking.
It was wild. It took me back to like, you remember that scene at the beginning of Marvel's Captain America Civil War, when Robert Downey Jr.'s character is like, you're watching a clip of him as a young man and you're thinking about, wow, like, the things that movies are capable of these days that really draw you in. And then then you're in it. Now you're ready for the Civil War of the superheroes to happen. It's like that. It's like took me into that same similar space.
It was very similar, much more boring, I have to say. But I felt just like I was transported to like the 1930s and 40s because I was just super bored and wanted to die the whole time, you know. And it was just like that, how everyone felt back then, because they didn't have phones. And there was no Marvel Cinematic Universe. Which you know,
is great.
So Thompson sets out to kind of do these interviews of different people involved in Citizen Kane's life to try to get to the bottom of this, and also to try to find out, I guess, what Rosebud was referring to. And the first person he talks to, I guess, is Kane's second wife.
But she doesn't want to talk.
And she's like alcoholic, right? She's She's got a nightclub now.
Which reminded me of, like, if you remember Robert Downey Jr.'s character Iron Man from the Marvel films, like there was a similar kind of arc with alcoholism. That I don't know if like this film is referring to that arc when they do it, but I got like similar vibes.
Yeah, no, it's like I like how they don't like the wife she's only in there very briefly because they know, like, listen, if we're going to depict alcoholism, that's kind of Robert Downey Jr.'s thing. So we're gonna pay tribute to it.
Yeah.
But
she did all right. She's an all right actress. It was fine.
And the fact that she's wearing the Iron Man helmet that entire scene, I thought really that really made clear like the tribute they were doing, because this is really I want to emphasize this. This is a movie about movies.
Yeah.
All our favorite movies: Captain America, the First Avenger, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Iron Man, Iron Man 2. Just like it's repeat.
Iron Man 3.
I didn't really see any Iron Man 3, but
okay, that's fair.
Like all of the great movies of cinema, and it's sort of like, what if we made a movie that was like thinking about that?
Yeah.
By sending this guy around to talk to these figures who are all kind of, obviously like within the plot, they have their like, it's his wife, it's his like ex-best friend and such, but they're also like kind of on a meta level. They're like referring to like all of our favorite characters of the history of cinema, right?
True.
Like people like Iron Man, Captain America, the Green Goblin, like, and it's kind of like, what if you took all of those different characters we all love from across different movies and you put them in one movie?
Yeah.
And like one guy could go around and like talk to them and be like, what were you thinking about when you designed the Goblin glider? Like, did you ever think it could impale you yourself?
Yeah.
And what were you going to do if Spider-Man didn't backflip over it? Because it still would have been going really fast. And what was the plan?
Yeah, which these are the questions that it's in the audience's mind already. So this is a great way to kind of, it feels like you're part of something bigger as you're watching this film.
Yeah.
And this reporter goes in, he gets access to Orson Welles' character's like business partner and like read some of his memoir and things like that.
Well, and that too, I thought that was really interesting because like that was sort of recalling to me how most movies are based on comic books, which are kind of like, if you think about it, they're similar to memoirs in that they're like kind of made of paper and they have covers and text on them. Like a memoir is kind of like if you had like a comic without the art and you just had like the text.
That is so smart.
And it was about someone's life,
That is so smart.
And like in doing that, it's playing with this idea of like memory. And I mean that with like a capital M, like cultural memory. Like, I'm not talking about like, oh, this is what happened to you when you were a kid or your mom or your originary traumas. I'm talking about like the shared kind of collective unconscious cultural memory. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Predator 3.
Yeah.
Three Amigos 2. Ghostbusters Afterbirth. All of our favorite movies that we think of because this is what's so brilliant about the movie. It knows you're watching a movie and it knows you've been thinking about movies because you've made the decision to watch one.
Yeah, no, that's spot on.
Like you are in a prime position.
Yep.
To be, you probably just walked through the theater. You probably just walked through the cardboard cutout of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop.
Yep.
And so you're ready to pick up these references.
Yeah. No, that really resonates with me. And I think you can sort of tell that like we're almost getting sidetracked with, because it like makes you excited to be watching this film. So getting back into it, like now, like, but this reporter gets access to these documents and these interviews, and that kind of allows you to have these flashbacks to the character, that like the Citizen Kane, the Charles Foster Kane, like flashbacks to his life, starting with like when he is a kid, and he's taken away from his parents essentially, into like a
guardianship.
Yeah,
like he becomes this guy's ward because they discover gold on the family property, and so this trust is sort of established, and Kane is sort of like he's like actually outside sledding in the snow while his parents kind of discuss this with this Thatcher guy. And they decide they're going to like kind of send him away. And he's going to be this guy's like kind of like put in this guy's trust.
Yeah. And that was a more boring scene. I think they probably could have cut it in the editing room, but like it gets us, it's like fine, you know?
Yeah. Well, like why all the sledding for me is just like, because like, as we've said, the strength of this movie is when it is about other movies. And so like the sledding, I'm just like, I don't remember there being any sledding in The Dark Knight Rises.
No.
Like if he had been like in the bottom of like a pit and there was like a guy with like a weird mask taunting him and he had to sort of climb his way out of the pit, then I know exactly what you're doing. Like,
yeah. I don't know. It's like probably a stretch, but you remember like they have the sledding scene in Super Mario Brothers. I'm assuming this is like I think this is a stretch, but again, I'm just like spitballing what they could have been trying to do.
Well, I think it's just, you know, I think you're giving it too much credit. I really think this was just a budget thing. Like, I think they obviously wanted to do like a Seabiscuit thing here. Which like is great because then like once you bring in Seabiscuit, you're like Tobey Maguire. You get right into Spider-Man from that. Yeah. But like I just think like they just didn't have the budget for the horses, and so they were like, okay, what is another mode of conveyance? And like a sled, you don't even need gasoline. So they were just like, okay, let's just like I frankly like I want to see like, you know, an investigation of this, just forcing this child like down a hill. That seems like bad labor to me. Labor politics, like over and over again. It's like this reverse Sisyphus situation. I didn't care for it. And it really took me out of the movie because suddenly I'm thinking about like my childhood and, you know, how I never really connected with my father and times that I was like kind of outside on my, you know, and like, and I, you know, I start to cry. Like that's not what I'm not here to think about these kind of things. I'm here to think about movies and what movies are about, which is fictional heroes accomplishing morally unambiguous tasks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, to get, you know, we kind of skip ahead. He's 25 now, and the mine has been doing really well. Has been pumping out the money, and Kane has become one of the richest men in the world, right?
Yeah, he's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and he decides to buy a newspaper, right? And now, again, I know what you're thinking. Newspapers were kind of getting away from what this movie's about, which is movies. But it's a symbol. Whenever you hear newspaper in this movie, I want you to think movie, right?
Okay.
So like, he buys newspapers, right? And he realizes like, okay, boring people think newspapers should tell the truth. But why can't newspapers just make things up, right? Like, why do we have to have movies about boring things like war and oppression and systemic racism when we could have newspapers be about Iron Man, you know, Bucky Barnes, etc. Right. Yeah. So and this is called yellow journalism.
Yeah, which I had never heard of either of those words before. What does yellow journalism, do you know what that means?
No, so I think it is a Green Lantern reference.
Oh, okay.
If you remember, like it's a little confusing because it's obviously not green journalism, but like in Green Lantern, his weakness is the color yellow. Like his ring doesn't work, you know, and Sinestro uses the color yellow, right? His arch nemesis. So I think it's in reference to that. Okay. And it's like how this is sort of like this yellow journalism is sort of like the weakness of, you know, sort of like the public sphere and like, you know, liberal democracy. Yeah. And you know, freedom of the press.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that it maybe has something to do with the Mind Stone, since that's the yellow one, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's because I think what yellow journalism means is like journalism that makes you think, you know? Because like otherwise people wouldn't realize like the necessity of war with Spain. And so like, it's like, I think that's what it's Again,
That's really interesting.
Could be a stretch. Could be a
No,
stretch,
but
that was on
I
my
love
mind.
that. What I love about this movie is it doesn't, it's not afraid to be referencing Marvel and DC at the same time.
Right. But you don't need to like know exactly which connections it's intending to still have a good time, because there's multiple pathways of what it could be trying to say.
Yeah, this movie really is all about having a good time at the movies.
Yeah. Speaking of having a good time at the movies, Devin, I don't know what is the last movie that you went to go see?
Snuck into the Batman, did get kicked out after 30 minutes.
Okay. Same. And so when I'm going to movie theaters, though, one of the things that would always bother me is the seats are very uncomfortable. Like movie theaters, like it's essentially wooden seats. And if I am going to be sitting down for like one of these masterpieces, like the Batman, that's like a 3-hour film, I want to make sure that I'm doing it in comfort.
Yeah.
And one of the issues that I always used to have is that I used to not wear underwear to the movie theater.
Because of the chafing.
Yeah, exactly. And that wasn't comfortable. But now, thanks to underwear, that's wear spelled WHERE, I am able to wear 2 or 3 pairs of those into the movie theater, and I feel like beyond comfortable. I am like, I am melting into my seat with underwear's like collection of products.
Yeah, and we're so happy to have them as a new sponsor here at Your Tall, because like it's not just about the comfort, it's also about when you're seeing the Batman and you're sneaking into the theater and the security are chasing you in this cat and mouse game, and you're having to go from different screen to different screen and getting different pieces of the movie at different times, and then like piecing them back together after the fact. You're moving a lot, you're getting a lot of sweat buildup, right?
Yeah. I
know what you're thinking. These underwear are gonna stink. I'm gonna have to be changing midway through Batman, and that's that now is a whole nother time I have to sneak into the movies to see the scenes that I've missed. But the I know you've heard of like some other brands with the silver lined underwear. The underwear are 100% pure silver.
Yep.
All right, this isn't silver lined. These are molded to your body.
Yep.
Silver encased underwear,
and it is silver mined from Colorado in the United States. These are American silver.
This is U.S. made.
Yep.
This is a U.S. company. U.S. probably not prison labor making these underwear, and you are not going to have to wash these. You don't even have to take these off. And frankly, you don't want to, because they're very difficult to remove.
Yeah.
Because they are, like I said, like 100% pure silver, molded to your body. Not a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, no. And like, they are a responsible company, which is what I appreciate. Their ad campaigns don't only feature like supermodels, they have people that look like me in their ads, and
you specifically, actually.
Yeah, no, I've really appreciated modeling for this company, and we are so happy to have them as a sponsor.
It's go to underwear?.com. That is a question mark, not the word question mark, the actual symbol .com, yep. And use code YourTallPod. That's your with an E. And for only $69.99,
yep,
they will send their fit experts to your house to do all the measurements, all the sort of like graphical interfaces that they have to do.
Yeah.
And they will smelt the underwear specially to you, apply it to your person, cool it, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Underwear. Under you can wear. Where?
So we left Citizen Kane, journalism, stock market crash.
That's right.
The 1929 stock market crash.
Yeah.
Ethan, you know about this.
Yeah, I know about it from our episode on It's a Wonderful Life. It seemed like, there was like, I guess back in the 20s, like the stock market could go down? Is that what was happening?
I mean, I wouldn't use that term.
Okay.
But I mean, if you're making it a graph, the graph is going down.
Okay.
If you choose to think about it in like, I mean, graphs are really limiting.
Yeah.
You know, it's like 2 dimensions. But, you know, for the sake of argument, yes, I guess it would go down.
So, yeah, there's a stock market crash. Things are rough.
That sounds like really stressful, Ethan.
Yeah.
Have you ever been like stressed before?
I used to be. And then, Devin, I got a hold of some cope gummies. I don't know if you've heard of these, but these are CBD gummies.
Yeah, so like CBD, you know, it's not weed. It's legal. That's what's most important about it. And, you know, it's just a way of when you find yourself under the thumb of late capitalism and you're 2 years into a pandemic and the state's not doing anything for you whatsoever, you know, you just pop a couple copes. And Ethan, I feel so relaxed.
Yes.
I can't even put it into words. Like sometimes I'm there, the underwear guys are there, they are smelting metal in my living room. It's getting very hot, it's loud. They don't bring an extra, you know, of the safety equipment for me. So I'm getting kind of like some burns. And I pop a couple coke gummies. And suddenly it's like I feel like I'm back on the plains of Pandora in James Cameron's Avatar.
Yeah. I do like 5 or 6 and I feel similar. And we'd like to thank our friends at Sinopharm. Yeah, we have a very good offer for cope. You can get a box, an unmarked box of 300 cope gummies delivered to your nearest Kohl's department store for 20% off if you use the special code, you are tall, but I am standing in front of you.
And we are so happy to have Cope as part of the You're Tall family. We've been having a really rough time. As always, I don't really like to get into personal stuff on the pod, but, ever since I saw that scene where young Citizen Kane is going down the hill on his sled and, just like closing my eyes and seeing just these flashes of images of my childhood and like, my father and like, I'm asking
Gross.
him like, I would like to go to the park and he's like, you can't go to the park and like, you need to watch Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And just, the hours and hours of being forced to watch cultural schlock in the hopes that he would develop me into this sort of like superhuman like podcaster, and just the sound, like the overwhelming sound of like the streaming is the thing that's really tough for me.
Speaking of sounds, the number of new sounds I have been able to hear after taking a few cope gummies is like honestly mind-blowing. Not only new sounds, but new colors and tastes. And sometimes I am tasting colors. This stuff is really good stuff. Special code, you are tall, but I am standing in front of you. Again, you can get a package of cope gummies, and I highly recommend.
So anyway, back to the film. So the stock market has crashed, scare quotes.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that they didn't have enough cope gummies. People are upset. Money isn't good. Things are bad. And then this is where, I'm starting to get a little fuzzy on the film because, like, as I said, I was starting to have panic attacks and flashbacks to my childhood. And so, I'm not really sure what happens, but it felt like it stopped being about movies a little bit. And like, all these references to like money and stuff, like I wasn't really comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Like talking about like, especially when money is bad and like when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That was confusing to me because I'm like, if you just spend the money, then like it works. You know, like they have to take it because it's money.
Yeah.
But like seemingly like people just couldn't they couldn't just go like buy stuff.
Well, and this is an issue when I guess a lot of them at that time, including Orson Welles' character, had not invested in crypto. And
yeah.
And we understand that like that is actually a market that will always in the long term go up. And you don't want to be caught in these fiat marketplaces where you're at the whims of big business, and you want to have control. And fortune favors the bold, and the bold are buying crypto. Yeah.
The Born Identity guy said that.
Yes, exactly.
On the Super Bowl. He said it on the Super Bowl. And that's how you know that crypto is the way to flipto your assets into more assets.
We'd like to introduce the tall coin. We're very excited about this.
Extremely
excited. This is a cryptocurrency that is a lot better than a lot of the other cryptos that you hear about out there. Because it's fully matched. So you have that right out the bat. You have like dividends that are guaranteed to quadruple. And I see that the portfolios, a typical person with the tall coin, their portfolios are overflowing within 3 months, is what the script is telling me here. Which all sounds very exciting to me.
And my favorite thing about it is that if the tall coin was a physical coin, which it isn't, but if it was, it would have your face on one side of it, and then it would have my face on the other, which, like people flip coins and they say like heads or tails, heads I win, tails you lose. We've all heard that one before.
Yep.
The long story, endless years of failure, just cycles and cycles of disbelief in ourselves and nothing ever quite working out. But this coin, heads both sides, heads we both win. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Absolutely. You cannot lose. And that, I think, is the tagline, right? Tall coin, you cannot lose.
Mm-hmm. And so just go to yourtall.coin, and if you enter code your coin, but I'm minting outside the aegis of the US government, all lowercase, you will get up to your first $10,000 of tall coins matched with additional tall coins of 50% lower value.
Yeah, I have done this, I think, 7 or 8 times. And again, the value, you can just see how much it changes over time. And I have been wowed by that sort of change.
So anyway, the tall coin, and we will be, we've got a new line of merch coming out. As everyone knows, we've got Your Tall shirts, mugs, coasters, phone cases, sort of like those metal bottles of water that you can reuse. Yeah, and those are all redeemable with tall coin. Exclusively. And so, get yourself some tall coin and start let's start seeing some of this merch out on the streets. Is what I would like to see. And so, we are running low on time. So I think, we are probably going to have to call this short, but, Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
There's like a war that happens between Spain and America.
Was that like based on something?
I don't
know what they were doing.
It's like, I think that's like sort of a metaphor for like when there were tapas restaurants everywhere.
Okay.
And like no one knew, like, and you went into the restaurant and then like the waiter was always like, so like, have you been with us before?
I see.
Because you see, it's lots of small plates. So like you need to order multiple things and, people being confused. I think, it's something about that.
Yeah.
He gets married, like, he wants to be governor.
Yeah, there's this scene where he's running for governor, but then
but he's bad at running for being governor.
Yeah, you have Boss Geddes trying to take down Citizen Kane's political career. It reminded me of a lot of those scurrilous accusations against, Big 45 that we had over the last few years. You know? And again, I don't know, like, if it's a reference to it or if, like, I see those connections, but...
Yeah. It's the magic of movies to be able to get at the core of politics in sort of like this mythic way where, it doesn't need to be, Mr. 45. It's the essence, it's the essence of movies and politics is what I think.
That is so true and wise.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thought it was good. But so, like the wife, she wants to sing, she can't sing.
No.
That's pretty cut and dry. And then she stops singing, he dies, nobody learns anything. And then there's this weird shot of like the sled from before, and it says Rosebud on the sled.
I don't get it. Yeah.
I think like it would have been too outrageous to like cremate a horse on the movies.
I see.
Like in live movies to do that. Like, and I know they're trying to get these Seabiscuit references in there, but like the final shot of the movie, like, come on, like we've done it already. And I would have preferred maybe, like a different Tobey Maguire reference. Cider House Rules.
Great one.
Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
Spider-Man 3.
Sure.
Like the references are there to be made, but like Orson Welles obviously was like a really big Seabiscuit fan.
Yeah.
Like, hence, he likes to set his movies in the past, back when like Seabiscuit was around. And I get that, but I do think that's what leads to us having to do all this interpretive work to figure out, like, is this about which president, who, why?
Yeah. Even where in a lot of ways. And I think that I'm the theme that I think I can take a stab at the theme. And the theme that I get out is like by the end of this film, Orson Welles' character, the Citizen Kane, is like not like no one is supporting him. His wife is leaving him. Like all this bad stuff is happening, even though like he is an entrepreneur. Like he has the number of jobs that he created, not just in New York City, Chicago, all across the country. And they're not even supportive of him after he did so much for all of those workers.
Yeah.
And it to me drives home the importance of support. And those of you who know us here at You're Tall, But I'm Standing in Front of You understand that this is a big operation. This is not easy or cheap to make. And because of that, we want to make sure that our listeners have an opportunity to support us in the same way that, we support your morning commute.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got a new, 13-tier Patreon system. Yeah. And so there's many levels of support. There's many, I like to think of it not even as tiers, not even as a ranking, but as just different ways of expressing to us how you support us and what we do in supporting you. So it's like really like, it's not even costing you anything so much as it's us supporting each other is how I like to think about it. And now this, I do want to be clear, the Patreon, we will not be accepting tall coins. It does need to be USD, as I like to call it, and we are going to need a valid credit card number unexpired for that. But so I think, we should start going through just like maybe what the different tiers are, Ethan.
Yeah. So kind of the introductory tier, we have the Giuliani tier. And what that gets you is that gets you access to our entire back catalog. We are talking about a lot of episodes here. And these are episodes that, if you're not, if you don't have access to that Giuliani tier, is frankly, I think, near impossible to sift through and to, make sense of. But if you are part of the Giuliani tier, we have a curated list of which episodes to listen to and in which order. Mm-hmm. That's our introductory tier. I think that's $20 a month.
Yeah. $20.99.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna drop the 99s just because, like, you guys know. Tier 2, we have the Rogan tier. Mm-hmm. So this is interesting because you get the new episodes of the podcast. You get everything the Giuliani tier gets, but you also get the podcast 1 day in advance.
Wow.
So instead of waiting, like you're about to get on like a flight, the pod's not coming out till tomorrow, but you're in the Rogan tier. You've got it already. You've got 2 hours, to entertain you while you're on your way to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, that is a steal. Because that's just $5 additional on top of the Giuliani tier.
Yeah, so $25.99 USD.
Yeah. Yep. Now, tier 3 is an even more. You get even more with this.
I love tier 3. I think is my sneaky pick for like really like the really where like the value, the value.
Yeah. The like we're talking like off the charts in terms of value. With the Scooter Libby tier, you get the pod 2 days in advance. This is on top of everything that you would get with the Giuliani and the
so you're
Rogan
still
tier.
Getting it 1 day in advance, but you also get it 2 days in advance, and you get all the old episodes.
Yeah.
So like, you're swimming in content at this point, basically.
Yeah, it's literally double the days in advance of the previous tier. So it's a pretty big jump up for a very minimal extra $5 a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, tier 4, I wouldn't do tier 4 personally. The Alexander Haig tier, it's a little bit of a jump. It's $37.99. But you do get the pod 3 days in advance.
Yeah.
But the way I think about it is if you're going to spend $37.99 for the Alexander Haig tier, you might as well spend $42.99 for the MCU Ennui Critical Support tier. And this, you get the pod 4 whole days in advance, which is more than 50% of a week.
Yeah, that's true. It is, and it's double the days more in advance than the Scooter Libby tier. So I mean,
yeah, it's kind of like you're getting 2 Scooter Libby tiers for about the price of 2 Scooter Libby tiers, give or take.
Yeah.
So like, really great stuff.
Yeah. Now I think like that will like that's sort of to me like the starter tiers, a good place to start. But for a lot of folks, that is, doesn't quite scratch the YTBISIFOY itch in a way that tier 6, the Jim Baker tier, does. And what you get with this, for literally just it's an extra $8 every month on top of the previous tiers, is you get 50 pounds of You're Tall But I'm Standing in Front of You certified. So this is certified by You're Tall But I'm Standing in Front of You.
Yes.
So certified, bunker designed and tested.
Absolutely.
Designed and tested dehydrated broccoli and cheddar soup, delivered to your door or the nearest Kohl's every single month.
That's right. And this does not expire.
No.
So I know what you're thinking. Oh, I don't know if I can get through all 50 pounds in a month. You don't need to, dummy.
Nope.
Come on. Stock that shit up. Now, obviously, once you break the seal on one of the 50-pound bags, it is going to go bad. So accrue some of these bags until you've really got a hankering for this soup, or the end times happen. You're ready to go.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was actually just having a conversation the other day about how, like, once I tear open one of these bags, the whole bag is going, you know? The whole bag is going.
Know,
it is,
buddy.
you cannot stop once you start.
No, you're standing over the sink with it. And,
Absolutely.
I'll tell you something. I like it dry.
Yep. Now, tier 7 is you get.
I'm sorry, Ethan. Yeah. I do have to cut you short here because we are running out of time and we do have another ad to read.
Sure.
So we'll have to finish the Patreon tiers later. But we are very happy to announce the You're Tall But I'm Standing in Front of You NFT.
Yes.
Now, some of you might be asking, what's an NFT? If you're one of those people, you're not for me. So, best see you later.
Yep.
But I know that the Your Tall listeners are on the NFT train, and that train is going directly into the sun, by which I mean up, baby. Up, up, up. And so we've got, I'm sure you're all familiar with the Your Tall Pod cover artwork if you've downloaded us on your phone. So we are in partnership with Paul Simon, who of course is the creative juice behind the Bridge Over Troubled Water album that we a loving homage to in our artwork, and he's partnered with us, so we have an exclusive NFT of that work. So if you want to be the owner of that work, we will be having an open auction for this NFT, bidding starting at 20,000 tall coins. And, we're really, really excited about it. And I don't really foresee there being any problems whatsoever.
And this is, you think about, as we're watching Citizen Kane and you have the stock market crash, like they are living in a world where all of the tokens are fungible. And we are now at a critical juncture where we can offer non-fungible tokens. I think this is a really exciting opportunity. There, legal has told me I need to clarify, we haven't quite gotten Art Garfunkel on board yet. It's a work in progress. We expect that to be coming together in the very near future.
It's so rich, isn't it? What does he even do? It's like Paul Simon's writing the lyrics. He's playing the guitar. He's wearing the hat.
Yeah. He's literally the only living boy in New York.
Yeah. And then it's like we've got okay, so you sang about the bridge. I get it. But you're going to use that to hold back Paul from this once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm just and he's been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Every time Paul tries to put this shit behind him and he's I'm going to Africa. I'm doing a probably racist album. It's, and then Garfunkel has to show up. And with the hair. Yeah. And I get it. You're tall.
Yeah.
We know.
He is somehow a greater barrier than apartheid. For all of Paul's dreams and aspirations.
Yeah. And we're sick of it. I'm sick of it. We don't need, we've seen Paul do vocal harmony on his own. We've seen the collaborators. There's plenty of them.
Yeah. It's not great.
You are second. You're after the ampersand. You are literally standing behind him. Your mouth is being blocked by his head on the album cover, right? Your mouth is dependent on his music to even have something to do. And Garfunkel, just stop hiding behind the lawyers, okay? Come on the pod. I'm tired of these 42-page cease and desist letters and documents. I'm not a lawyer. Okay, if I wanted to do legal stuff, I would go to law school. I'm doing NFT stuff and art and tokens.
We're makers.
We're making something instead of just singing along to Paul. That's what you were, a sing-along man. All right, so get on the pod before I go over there and kick your to a million pieces of vocal fucking piece of shit. All right, sorry, I got a little hot and bothered there, but I said,
fine.
This film has been bringing up some difficult like memories for me, and how I always just really wanted to go sledding, but I lived in a very flat place.
True. I appreciate you and just the energy that you bring to this, because again, fortune favors the bold, and I think that you are being bold in this situation because you understand the future of all of this.
Yeah, and I just really don't want him to this up. So anyway, to get back to the movie, wrap things up. So we're gonna have to, I think we pretty much said what happens in the movie, we talked about the themes throughout. So let's get into, our favorite segment, our hashtag Build Back Better plan for Citizen Kane. We liked a lot of what it was doing, obviously. We loved the references, but Ethan, what do you think we can build back better to make Citizen Kane a truly great movie?
Yeah.
It's a critically acclaimed movie, but to make it a movie that people actually love.
For sure.
Normal people.
Yep. I think that there was all this weird stuff with the Rosebud thing.
Yeah.
Throughout the film that was confusing and off-putting, frankly. I think Rosebud should have been a sexy woman.
Love it.
Yeah.
You just struck gold there.
Yeah.
Because it's if we want this Rosebud to be so important, give it some lines,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Actually have it be involved in things. So I think you could have Brie Larson.
For sure. We love her. Yeah.
I love her working The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg.
Uh-huh.
And I think that kind of performance would really work here. And I throw in Mark Wahlberg too.
Absolutely. Good idea.
Why are we limiting it to just Rosebud? Because if I'm gonna have a Brie Larson, I like to have a little Mark Wahlberg on the side.
Because this allows you to have a post-credit scene with them, and it's sort of a setup for more of a cinematic universe, and that you can have Citizen Rosebud as the sequel that kind of kicks things up.
And then it's okay, so now it's we're doing a woman version.
Exactly.
And then you could do one with Mark Wahlberg, so you're doing a Boston guy version.
Yep.
And just keep going from there. Love the idea.
Yeah. Now, what about you, Devin? How would you hashtag Build Back Better this film?
Yeah, so I thought it was weird that they didn't do it in color.
Yeah.
I know it's trying to be it's back in olden times, but they spend so much time talking about what year it is. This movie's watching a fucking calendar. They're it's 1929. Hey everybody, it's 1929. So we know that we don't need the black and white. So let's get the color. And I think especially if we're adding Brie Larson and Mark Wahlberg into this, I want to see them in color.
Yeah, because it's a great point, because when I remember Captain America, the very first one, that took place at a similar time as this film, but it was in color, and it was much more vibrant.
And nobody was confused.
No.
I'm tired of the way that Hollywood looks down on viewers, and they think if you don't put something in black and white, people don't know it was in olden times.
Yeah.
But we know we know when it is. So let's get some color, let's get some splash. He's got all these peacocks and stuff. I want to see what they look like.
Absolutely.
So that's what I would do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
All right, and so it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's pass out some shayas. Taking the film as it is, though, Ethan. How many shayas are we talking here?
I want to give this, more shayas than I probably can, because again, a lot of good homages to film in general. I gotta say, so I'm going to give it 3.5 Shia LaBeoufs, and why I'm giving it probably where 2 of those Shia LaBeoufs come from is just Gary Oldman, and his performance is he literally never misses a hit in any performance he has. If you remember, one of our favorites is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. He doesn't miss a hit, and this is no exception. And so I think
Ethan,
did
you watch Mank perchance instead of Citizen Kane?
I don't understand the.
So that's
Mank is.
It's the movie about Citizen Kane, but it's not actually Citizen Kane.
No, yeah, because it's a movie about Citizen. Like it's a play. That's what we've been saying this whole time, right? It's like a about film.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll tell you, I'm a little confused now, so I'm gonna just drop it to 3 Shias, because I don't know what's going on here. But I think that Gary Oldman does hold this film together.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
what about you, Devin?
Well, I've always been a fan of Orson Welles' work, especially since the Champagne commercial.
Yeah.
And the Transformers. Great voice. So I liked when he was talking. I don't understand why we didn't get any like kind of post-credit stuff.
Yeah.
Especially after all the references. Like I said, the black and white was like a weird decision.
Yep.
And, I really just don't, it seems like he had the money, but not so happy Citizen Kane,
Yeah,
and
that was weird.
I couldn't relate to that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 2.5 Shia LaBeoufs.
Okay.
And the half is the Disturbia Shia LaBeouf, but down the middle.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, and I don't think I want to watch these movies anymore.
Yeah.
There's none of the the fighting, none of the blowy up.
Yes. Yeah. No. True.
And long.
I will admit, I did have this movie just on a second monitor while I was playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe that's why the ranking was a little higher, but I don't know that I can
better.
do this again ever.
Yeah, so I think, we're not going to keep doing this, this Sight and Sound list. I think, maybe just the one for me. So anyway, thank you for listening. You're tall, what I'm saying in front of you. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at YourTallPod. Follow Ethan at Mathisippy and follow me, Devin, at Stale Cooper. Well, actually, you can't because I'm deactivated right now. But someday, maybe you will, or maybe not, I hope. Buy our tall coins, visit our friends at Cope and Underwear. The NFT auction will be happening in a couple weeks. Pending certain the outcome of Your Tall v. Garfunkel, whenever that is resolved. So thank you for listening.